Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. I'm here tonight live. It is our Monday night date on April 29th, 2024. I'm going over this week in astrology all the way from Monday, April 29th until Sunday, May 5th. Welcome if you are just joining me live tonight. You're on Facebook. I'm live on Facebook every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, so if you want to join the live party and comment and do all that fun stuff, you can. Or if you like to watch it on YouTube, I always post the replay after the fact, and that's awesome too, and you are amazing for joining me as well. So welcome everybody who's jumping on. We have a busy week in astrology. It seems like I'm always saying that, but it truly is a busy week, and there's a lot going on. There's planets on the move. Oh, we got another retrograde starting as well, so you don't want to miss that. And plus we have some other things happening too, some planetary transits. So if you're just joining me live, thank you so much. Welcome, and go ahead and post below your astrological sign. Where are you tuning in from? I love to hear if you know your sun, your moon, your rising sign. I love to hear that. And yeah, so we have a lot. Last week was very busy as well. We had a lot of things going on. Mercury finally went direct last week. I don't know if anybody has felt any shift yet. I have to say it's still been kind of glitchy, I think, out there in the Mercury direct world. Mercury is still in the astrological sign of Aries. It went direct. Direct means that the retrograde is over. Mercury retrograde is over, and that is that happened this month on April 25th, Thursday. Hey, Kathy, welcome. You were my very first commenter. Sagittarius from Vermont. Love that. I have a lot of stuff happening. And since we had Mercury turn direct, Mercury retrograde is over. I don't know if anybody's felt that. I can sort of see where it's like kind of starting to get going, but it's still pretty glitchy. I felt like technology and things have been still a little bit glitchy. Remember that Mercury's post-retrograde shadow isn't going to release until May 13th. So we have a little ways to go before it fully is kicking in. I always say, give it at least 10 days, a week or 10 days, like to really let it get rolling and all that. You don't have to follow all the Mercury retrograde guidelines during the post shadow time, but just know that it takes a little while to get the kinks out, as it starts to get rolling and getting on the move. So we had that, and we also had the full moon last week. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like that full moon last week was intense. There was a lot of happenings going on. So we have some big astrology for this week. I'm going to get started on the program. And again, if you guys can remember to like and comment below, that always helps the algorithm to get rolling. Wendy, you're getting a stone wall repaired tomorrow. There you go. So see, hopefully you won't have any interruption. I mean, I had my car serviced today, and I waited until after the retrograde was over. So, like I say, I don't go by the guidelines during the post or the pre-shadow. I just use that as an awareness of, okay, things are a little glitchy right now. That's all I do, is I use that as an awareness. I don't follow, because otherwise, if we took the retrograde, the pre-shadow, and the post-shadow all into account, we wouldn't be doing very much throughout the year. You know what I mean? So it's something that that we want to make sure that we just do the retrograde time. Yay, Susan, you found me live. Oh no, something was wrong with the notifications on your phone. Well, I was just talking about Mercury retrograde's been still active. And just so you know, on this live post on Facebook, in the upper on my side, it's right hand corner, you can see there's a couple 3 dots or whatever at the top, and if you click on that, it'll say allow notifications or notify me when this person goes live, and you can click that, and that will help to give you like a direct notification if you want for when I go live. So anyway, Monday. We already had some big energies today that I didn't even get to talk about last week because we had so many other things going on last week. But today, Monday, we had two big things that happened overnight, actually, between Sunday and today at 12:31 a.m. Eastern Time, so 9:31 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast of the United States. We had Mars formed a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. So any Pisces out there feeling that? I was certainly feeling that, especially towards the end of Pisces. If you were born, closer to March Pisces, you would definitely be more in the heart of that. But Mars in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces, oh boy, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. And so it's all Neptune in Pisces, and over the weekend, we would have been feeling that. They only come together once every 2 years, okay, just so you know. So when they come together in a conjunction, it's a big, huge deal, and it's strong. It's like a laser beam of energy, except Mars being in Pisces is a little indirect and a little, kind of wavering and things like that. And Neptune in Pisces is same thing. And so when we have all of that Piscean energy, it can make us feel a little bit wonky. It could make us feel a little tired, fuzzy, foggy, not have clarity, and even a little emotional. I mean, let's talk about Pisces is feelings and emotions. And so we could be feeling a little bit more emotional, a little bit more sensitive. And I have often seen grief come up around Pisces stuff, like you might be grieving a lost loved one, a pet, a place you used to live, all those types of things. Grief can come up around Pisces times. So I don't know if anybody out there was feeling any of that. Pisces definitely would have been affected by this. This would have been, in the heart of Pisces. And then obviously Virgo, that's opposing Pisces, so that you guys would have felt that, or even if you're another Scorpio, Cancers would have been feeling it because it would have been highlighting all of the water signs. But there was some of that going on, and it's going to be continuing to go on through the week, though the peak of it, the pinnacle of it, the maximum that it's going to be was overnight between Sunday and Monday. So as we go throughout the week, it'll get like a little weaker and weaker as time goes on. But I don't know if nobody commented, so I don't know. But if anybody felt any of that over the weekend, I kind of did. I have to be honest with you. I felt a little bit like that over the weekend, a little like emo. And that was something. And so that would have been that, in case you guys were wondering what in the heck was going on. The other big thing that happened earlier today is that Venus is moving out of the astrological sign of Aries into Taurus. Okay, and so that is going on as well, 7:31 a.m. Eastern time this morning. It happened. And so now we have Venus in a new cycle. We have a month-long new cycle with Venus. Venus is going to be in Taurus all the way until May 23rd. So it's roughly a month or so, give or take a little bit. Sylvia said, yep, full of the feels bad. Oh boy. Hey, Gloria, Cancer from Florida, welcome. I was just talking about Cancers maybe feeling a little more emotional over the weekend. We had that emotional kind of stuff. So now we have Venus moving into Taurus. This is a lovely Venus placement because it is in Taurus's home sign. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and now having Venus in Taurus, it's like such a natural connection and so lovely. Like I said, in this last month, Venus being in Aries is fiery, aggressive, a little masculine, a little archetypally speaking, a little passion. It's a little bit more of a, not as comfortable as a placement being in Aries. Even though I love my Aries out there, but Venus in Aries is not as comfortable. It's all about the conquest and fighting and, all that sexual kind of energy that can be really the Venus in being in Aries. So now we're getting out of that time and we're getting into Venus's home court advantage being in Taurus. This is like a match made in heaven. I mean, this is right where Venus belongs, actually, is in Taurus. So that's a lovely thing to have for the next month. So when we think about Taurus, stuff, we think about design and beautification and home and making things comfortable and look pretty and all that kind of really fun stuff. And when we think about, because remember, Venus, I always compare these planets to being kind of like a corporation or a company, and each one has its own department. So Venus is the department of love, finances, and also creativity. So how you create, sort of things. And so having Venus in Taurus is really good. So for two things, if you're single and you're looking for a partner, this is all about vetting somebody for stability. I mean, Tauruses don't mess around. They like to have that stable, kind of thing that they can count on or they can rely on and that they can feel comfortable with. Tauruses like to be able to feel really comfortable and relaxed. That's a nice sign, like as far as like being comfortable and relaxed. So having Taurus in this Venus, kind of position, this is all about relaxed beauty. If you think about, there's on HGTV, what's her name? Oh my goodness, Chip and Joanna Gaines. So Joanna Gaines is a Aries Taurus combination. She got a lot of Taurus in her chart. And so she's HGTV, if you ever seen her show, I have obviously, but she has a relaxed beauty, a relaxed way of designing, big, comfy, pillows on couches and just different things. It's very relaxed. So it's beauty, but it has to be functional beauty, So with Venus and Taurus, we're going to be vetting. If we're single and out there mingling, we want to be vetting for this, feeling love, but feeling like a more solid, grounded, stable type of love and not, kind of going off, Taurus is anybody can play, anybody can be in a play phase where you're just hooking up and doing things like that. But once Tauruses really get focused on what they want, and they really want to settle down, they don't want to be messing around with someone that's going to be, out every night and doing this and that, unless if maybe they have some, Gemini or Sagittarius or something in their chart. But really, they like more of a stable connection. And so that is all about Taurus. Now, remember, Taurus is the ruler of the second house of money and things you value. And having Venus there, she can be expensive. She's all about expensive luxury, artwork, even like rich, food and wine and all that kind of stuff is very Taurus and Venus. And so that is a thing. Now, if you're in a coupled relationship, let's say, and you're looking to reconnect with your lover, your partner, okay, you want to be able to do that in a really nice way. You want to be able to kind of reconnect a little bit with your home, reconnect with family life, reconnect on what's your foundation, like what drove you to be together in the first place? What's the thing, the glue that keeps you together? And that's about reconnecting with all that. Taurus, again, is very solid, grounded. That's why Taurus's nickname in the zodiac is the builder. It's all about building from one brick at a time, and really doing that. Yes, I've heard Capricorns be referred to as builders as well, but Capricorn, I call Capricorn the CEO of the zodiac. They function a little bit differently, but when we talk about Tauruses, we really talk about that slow kind of just building one brick at a time, and that's the way they like to do relationships too. And we're all going to get a little flavor of that when Venus goes into Taurus collectively. Okay, so we all get a little bit of that. So if you're somebody who, has a little trouble settling down or finding people that want to settle down, well, this could help us because people might want a little bit more of a commitment now. Kind of seems like a lot of people don't want commitment nowadays, but there are still people out there that want that and not messing around with all the people that don't. That's the thing. Hey, Charlie, welcome. And Kelly Z. Wendy said, does a new stone wall count? Yes, exactly, right? You would date the builder. That's so funny. So it's something that, we're building literally brick by brick or stone by stone in your case, Wendy, and being able to really create that established, now Taurus is, like homemade gifts and like cooking and like, again, being home and kind of like doing all that, home improvement projects for sure, something, anything that you increase the value of, monetarily is a good good thing too, because Taurus is related to money. I mean, so Taurus can be a little expensive and have expensive taste, but Taurus is also, definitely a money related sign. So that's something good. You definitely, if you're looking for love and solid love and not like kind of like an all over the place, like kind of thing, this could be your cycle. This could be a cycle that you really, it's all about sensuality with Taurus. It's instead of sexuality, it's sensuality. So it's all about those earthly, beautiful pleasures that we have, tasting fresh strawberries and, having the springtime lilacs and all those things. That's a very Taurus sort of thing, and that's what we want to indulge in a little bit. This is a very it's not like a strong sort of driving, grinding sign. It's a strong sign for sure, but it's not a grinding like we're gonna do this and blah blah blah. It's like it's about kind of stopping and sort of smelling the flowers and looking at the beautiful dandelions and different things that we have in our life that are sensual pleasures, and that's something that is very good to remember. So that is going to be this next month, Venus in Taurus time, all the way from today, Monday, on April 29th, all the way until May 23rd, 2024. So that'll be a nice thing. Now, we're not done with Aries yet at all. We are not done with Aries. Okay, so while Venus is in her home sign, right, in being in Taurus, now on Tuesday, as we get into the week here on April 30th, the last day of April 2024, we have Mars moving into Aries. So just like Venus was in her home sign, now Mars is in its home sign as well. Because remember, Mars is the ruler of Aries. So this is a very strong Venus and a very strong Mars, but everybody's in their proper place. Like nobody's in a weird position like Venus being in Aries that we just came out of. That was a weird position for Venus to be in. She goes there every year, but it's not as comfortable. Now we have Mars in Aries, which is very comfortable. Okay, and so Mars being in Aries, that's going to happen tomorrow on April 30th at 11:33 a.m. Eastern time. So again, earlier, plus or minus, wherever you're located. And so that is going to be a big thing with Mars going into Aries, because we're doubling down on all the Mars stuff. Mars, again, is action, motivation, drive, ambition. It's a pounding kind of thing. It's sort of like what I was, saying, that Venus and Taurus is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more feminine energy if you want to talk archetypally speaking. It's a little bit more just like smell the flowers and let's build slowly one day at a time. Where Mars in Aries is quick, it's pounding, it's speedy, it's all that kind of stuff. And we are going to speed up a little bit in that Mars arena. So this is kind of nice because we can take a break with Venus, but then when we need to have action, aggression, ambition, motivation, we have this Mars in Aries, and it's very dynamic, just so that you know. So if you want to get stuff done, Mars in Pisces, we've had Mars in Pisces for, it feels like forever. I don't know. It feels like it's been a long time. It hasn't. It's probably only been about like a month and a half or so. Yeah. Since March 22nd, Mars has been going through Pisces this whole time. And then, like I said, to really overnight, Sunday to Monday, Mars ended up in Pisces, forming a conjunction with Neptune, that's all like slow and like kind of indirect and loopy. That's a watery Mars, and Mars doesn't do as well in the water. Mars likes fire. Okay. So now that Mars is in Aries, we're going to have a little bit more zip-diddy-doo. So there's a couple things that might have kind of been throwing a monkey wrench in the works. We did have Mercury retrograde also in Aries, so that didn't help. We're kind of like, can I get something done, something accomplished? I don't know. And then Mars being in Pisces was a similar vibe, where where I told you, Pisces is the fish. So Mars was kind of trying to swim around things, and that's a very indirect kind of strange Mars to have. So now that we have Mars going into Aries, that's a whole different, program. That's like, we see it, we take a shot, we're going to go for that thing. We're going to, be direct. We're going to like go from A to B. We're not going all the way around, through the river and around the woods, we're going to be having a more straight. So this is a little bit more dynamic. This is a little bit more aggressive though. That's the only thing, because all the Aries stuff can be, powerful. Aries is not known for having the most patience. Okay, so this is a little bit impatient, a little bit rash, a little bit quick, to sort of operate and do the thing. A little bit feisty, we'll say. And so Mars being in Aries during this time is going to be, and this is going to be a little longer because Mars is in each sign, roughly a month and a half or so. So Mars is going to enter Aries, like I said, on April 30th, 2024, and that's 11:33 a.m. Eastern time, and it's going to last all the way until June 9th. So that's a lot of Mars and Aries, kind of action, and it's feisty, it's fiery, it's adventurous. Now, here's the lovers, here's the lovers of the zodiac. So Venus is sensuality. She's like gonna light you candle. She is gonna put on some romantic music. She is gonna, spray some lavender scent in the air. Okay. She is all about the, sensual pleasures, where Aries is kind of like throw you to the bed, it's a little bit less, it's a little bit more like me want to, kind of thing. But when we look at Mars, Mars is our passion. Mars is our lust. Mars is how we want to kind of be seduced and all that, fiery energy. It's a little, again, it's a more masculine archetype sign. So when we look at Mars, we're looking at we're sexually attracted to, who turns us on, what makes us, kind of get a little, feisty, and that's Mars. Okay. So it depends on where your Mars is in your chart in order to know how that will affect you. Obviously, if you're in Aries, this is home sign, home court. This is your deal. Okay, Mars being in Aries. If you are a Libra, this is opposing you. So poor Libras, I feel like you guys, during all of this, we've had tons of Aries energy recently. Even that big solar eclipse was in Aries. Mercury retrograde was in Aries. We had Venus was in Aries. We had a lot of Aries energy. So Libra, all this Aries energy has been opposing you. And unfortunately, this is not going to be any different. Mars being in Aries, this is going to oppose you. So Libra, you might not feel as comfortable. But if you're a Sagittarius, a Leo, well, you're like first cousins with Aries. I mean, all the fire signs are going to get activated and feel good. If you are a Capricorn or a Cancer, you might find this, also to be activating, maybe even a little irritating. Okay, sometimes, and that's possible as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, Mars and Aries, but this is going to help us to get things done. If you're normally shy, this could be useful. If you're normally passive, this could be useful. If you are a bit of a hothead, this is not useful. Okay. If you are somebody who is naturally very impatient, not useful. Okay. Because it's going to just fire you up even more. And so then you're going to have to really count to 10, go for a walk, do things that you can release some of this energy. Speaking of energy and physicality, Mars is related to our physicality, our actual kind of energy levels and things like that. And so Aries is the head. Aries can be headaches. Okay, so you want to watch Aries, as far as the head area goes, God forbid, cancel Claire, that we'll wear helmets if you go bike riding or roller skating or skateboarding or whatever. You want to protect the head, and that's something that you want to watch with Aries. So sometimes headaches can increase with Aries, especially since we're getting into hay fever and allergies and things like that. That's all related to Aries. The sinus stuff is Aries. All that stuff. So you just want to watch that. If you're predisposed to something like that. Also, that is very inflammatory as well. So, blood pressure issues or swelling or things like that. And it's like kind of hot, it's hot to the touch. So you want to watch, all those types of things. Good news is it can give us extra energy. Bad news is it could make us a little irritable. I always say with Aries, I'm an Aries myself. So when Mars goes into my sign, at first I'm like, whoosh, zippity doo dah. Like I get like this burst of energy. And then after it's been there for a little while, I'm like, ugh, I'm getting grumpy now. Like this is too much. It's like if you have like, I don't know, 3 or 4 cups of coffee, at first it's great. And then after a while, it's like, I need my heart rate to come down, like it gets a little annoying. Yay, Kathy, you're an Aries. Oh, nice, Wendy. You have 60 bracelets to complete. Well, there you go. You'll get all your products ready for May 11th. That's perfect timing. Hey, Jean. Yes, you made it late but present. That's awesome. Yeah. Kelly Z said Cancer. Yeah, you'll be feeling this for sure because it's highlighting that. Wendy said Mars is on your second house cusp. Oh yeah, nice. So yeah, between money and communication. Oh no, Jean, you said, is that why I had the worst headache all day Sunday? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, headaches are definitely associated with Aries energy. There's been a lot of planets in Aries. It's finally starting to kind of dissipate. Mercury is still there, obviously, and now we have Mars going into Aries. So we still have Aries energy, and we have the North Node of the Moon in Aries. We have a lot of Chirons in Aries too. So we still have a lot of planets in Aries, even right now. So it's a lot, So this Mars energy, you want to use it up. And I always say Mars energy is dynamic. So Venus in Taurus, like I said, it's like go for a walk in the woods, take a break, smell the flowers, feel the fresh air and the breeze. Oh, it's wonderful. And do that kind of grounding. But Aries in Mars, if you get a little grumpy, if you get a little during this time, and again, this is going to be active up until June 9th, June 9th. You want to be physical. This could be very good if you're looking to work out, if you're looking to improve your exercise routine, if you're looking to increase your reps, all that kind of stuff. This is good for that. Because I always say Aries needs to kind of work out, the energy out of your body, out of your system, all that stuff. Mars needs to have that outlet. It's not a static energy. It's a dynamic, moving energy. So all that type of stuff, doing all those things is very, very good when Mars is in Aries. So definitely if you guys need to get back into an exercise program or do anything like that, this is definitely your transit. Now we have even more energy this week. We are coming up to what I call the second chance full moon, and that's coming on Wednesday of this week. Heads up to Aquariuses. It's going to be in your sign. So the sun is in Taurus, the moon is in Aquarius. It's going to be 11 degrees Taurus and 11 degrees Aquarius. The moon will be in Aquarius on that day. That's on Wednesday, May 1st. So I don't know if you guys believe in the little superstition or tradition of saying happy rabbit day. On the first day of every month, it is said if you say rabbit, then you're going to have good luck the whole month. So I'm saying it to you guys for May 1st. And we're also getting into Beltane, which is really beautiful too. And that's the halfway point between spring and summer. So if you think of, Mayflowers and doing all that kind of stuff, Beltane is also something that is celebrated on the Wiccan calendar or the pagan calendar or the Wheel of Life. It's on that whole thing. So happy Beltane. This is a time to kind of celebrate, bring those flowers in, the Mayflowers and all that wonderful stuff. But this is going to happen on May 1st, 2024, and it's going to be at 7:27 a.m. Eastern time. So why is this important? Because first of all, we're at the halfway point between the last full moon and the next upcoming new moon. That's going to be a really powerful new moon coming, and that's going to be on May 7th 2024 in Taurus. So sun and moon, whenever it's new moon, it's sun and moon is in Taurus at that time. It will be 18 degrees Taurus on that day. And that's going to be a super moon. It's another super moon. So that's a very powerful new moon time. And that's going to be on that Tuesday. But we're halfway between then, on Wednesday of this week on May 1st. And so if you forgot to burn or destroy your full moon, new moon manifestation list on the full moon, this is the time to burn or destroy it. It's the second chance full moon is what I call it. It's also called the last quarter lunar cycle. And it's also nicknamed a time of crisis, because it's when the sun and moon square each other, which means they're not on the same page. So the sun being in Taurus is, like I said, operates a little bit more traditionally, a little bit more slowly, a little bit more thoroughly. And then crazy wild Aquarius is the moon is gonna be, they're gonna be kind of, not getting along, because Aquarius likes to be a little bit more innovative, a little bit more wild, a little bit more free and a little bit more zippy. And so these two have to learn to and they're both stubborn because they're both fixed signs. So we have to we're being in a push and a pull here. So you have to remember, okay, so if you have something that is like an old established thing that you really like, that makes you comfortable, that provides you comfort, safety, security, or do you go to the Aquarius side and take a risk, do something different, be wild and crazy and free and all that kind of stuff? That is the push and the pull there. That's why astrologers call this a time of crisis, because there's two energies here that are kind of going in different directions. Oh, thank you, Jackie. You were my first stars tonight. 200 stars. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oop, you got 2 bells there. I appreciate stars are a way of giving a little financial tip to the broadcast. So I appreciate your help. And I didn't realize this, but I got approved. I've gotten enough, subscribers on YouTube that what they do on YouTube is they unlock, you get unlocking of different things. And I guess you can give a super chat or some kind of a thing on there. I don't know how that works, but on YouTube you can do that now. Oh, thank you, Charlie. Another star. 100 stars from Charlie. Thank you so much. Hey, Patricia, Aries. We've been talking about Aries a bunch. So anyway, so getting back to this time of crisis, is it really a crisis? Well, we're just continuing to purge, to release, to get rid of something that we started in this last full moon time. And that happened last week. That was the pink moon. That was the full moon in Scorpio. Whoo, that was kind of rough. I had a lot of clients calling in crisis, emergency appointments, 911, all that kind of stuff. It was pretty intense. I could tell people were very much struggling. That happened on April 23rd. And that was the last full moon. So now we're about a week away from that. We're continuing to deepen the purge, get rid of something, release something, let something go. Debt, clutter, toxic relationships, whatever thing you want to release and let go of, it is time to do that. And so that's going to be that. So there's just a little push-pull on that day. It's not a major big deal, but it is something that could make us feel potentially uncomfortable. And then there's another reason why we could feel a little uncomfortable on Wednesday. And even as we get into Wednesday, so even today, tomorrow, and then we get into Wednesday. Overnight between Tuesday and Wednesday at 12:30 a.m. Eastern time is the peak of this thing, is when Venus forms a square with Pluto. And that, again, is going to happen overnight. So 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday night if you are in the West Coast. That is going to, all right. So we just had Venus go into Taurus, right? So that means she's highlighting this thing with Pluto and Aquarius. See, again, we have Taurus and Aquarius. We have the sun in Taurus. We have the moon in Aquarius. See, they're having a little push-pull between these two. And so all the same thing goes for this. Whenever you have Pluto active, whenever you have Pluto active, it's intense. It's intense. We want that all-encompassing love and blah, blah, blah. But, sometimes it comes with intensity. My younger self, when love was like that for me in my life, and I have had that type of love, and I'm very lucky, I know, that I have had that type of all-encompassing love, that fire. But what I've also come to learn is a lot of times those things are trauma bonds. A lot of those things are just intense because they're effed up and messed up. And, Pluto has a dark side. Pluto has a dark side. I mean, it's jealousy, it's obsession, it's possession, it's, it's like, I want to own your soul, it's that kind of stuff. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. He's Hades. Okay. So when we have this push-pull dynamic with Venus now and Pluto in Aquarius, remember, Pluto in Aquarius is an extreme form because whatever happens with Pluto, there's a lot of people commenting that they have Pluto in their chart natally doing that. Yeah, exactly. So whenever we have Pluto in any sign, in any situation, and I'm going to be talking more about Pluto, so ears up, okay? It's the most extreme out of all of the planets. It's black and white. It's like all the way this way, or all the way that way. And so when we get Pluto kind of involved with Venus, the goddess of love and romance, it's not neutral, and I just got done saying that Venus in Taurus is like, it's like a stuffed teddy bear that you just want to squeeze. It's so squishy. But Pluto is all about change, especially in Aquarius, because Aquarius is the sign of change, the change maker. That's what I have nicknamed Aquarius, is the change maker. So having Pluto, bumping up with Venus, and not in a fun way, like in a grindy kind of crunchy way, that could be trouble in the love area, trouble in the financial area, trouble in the creative area. So this is going to be intense. So just, this is the time to try to be neutral, more neutral, okay, if you can. But it can be crunchy. Wendy. So Wendy's saying that you're feuding with your brother who's a Taurus and you're an Aquarius. Yeah. So Taurus likes to kind of do like more of the like sort of established way, the way that's comfortable, the way that's, and then Aquarius wants to change just for change, And so it's okay to change. I'm not saying it's bad, to change. Innovation's wonderful. But sometimes with Aquarius, I see people throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and so we got to just kind of meet in the middle somewhere, a little bit of change is okay, but a lot of change, not so fun. Charlie, Venus in Aquarius. That's I have Venus in Aquarius too. That's one of the bachelors and bachelorettes of the zodiac. Venus in Aquarius is hard to settle down with. I'll just say that. A lot of people with Venus in Aquarius have trouble in their love lives. We'll just leave it at that. I have said that I wanted to start a support group for Venus and Aquarius people. So the other reason why this is crunchy is because the next day, I alluded to this in my foreshadowing little teaser, on Thursday, we have Pluto's going retrograde. So here we go. So we have Pluto retrograde, and the day before it's forming that square with Venus. Now, so I said the day before, like as if it's just no big deal. It just happened one day. Well, here's the thing. Remember what I always say with retrogrades, right? As it appears from planet Earth, it looks like the planet is going, stopping, and then it pauses. That's called stationary retrograde, and then it goes backwards. Okay, that's retrograde, and then it goes stationary direct. So I always say it's like a car. If you think how a car moves, right? It can't just slam in reverse or slam forward. You can't do it. You have to come to a stop first before you put it in reverse. So the planet doesn't actually stop, but that's how it appears from the Earth. So here's the thing. These highlights, or these transits that Pluto is doing this week, is not just going away overnight, because Pluto is pretty much stationary right now. I mean, it is stationary. It's not pretty much, it is stationary. So the peak of it, the height of it, the pinnacle of it, but it's lingering. It's lingering longer than normal, than it usually would, because Pluto is doing its thing. So when does Pluto retrograde start? It starts on Thursday, May 2nd. And the peak of it, the height of it, when it starts exactly is 1:46 p.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that if you're on the West Coast or somewhere else. And so Pluto is in Aquarius and it's stopped, okay? And it doesn't move for a while. Like it's like a month or so before it, you know. So these things, even though they are like just now active and like coming to the peak just now, they're lingering. So we're not going to be just done with these things, because the next day Pluto then highlights another planet, Mars, on Friday. So we have some Pluto stuff this week, which can be very heavy. So this retrograde, okay, Pluto retrograde happens every year. It's about 5.5, 6 months out of the year, okay, because it's a, you know, further out planet. It's considered to be a planetoid, a mini planet, a dwarf planet. So it's way far out there. So it's retrograde for a very long time. It's going to be retrograde in Aquarius. Now, this retrograde is very important. And the reason why this retrograde is important, even though, like I said, it happens every year for about a half a year. Okay, that's normal. But it's at some point going to go back into Capricorn for the final time in our collective lifetime. It's never going to be in Capricorn again. So when this is going to happen, I'm going to give you the dates because I know people like to sometimes write this stuff down. Pluto in Aquarius starts on May 2nd, this Thursday, and it goes all the way until October 11th, okay? But during the retrograde, it will, for a final time, go back into Capricorn, and that's going to be on September 1st, all the way until November 25th. So I can't wait. Stop this Capricorn stuff, because this is, you know, all the stuff that we have been dealing with all the way since 2008, by the way, with government and with, you know, just like the old established way and all these different things that we were dealing with, big business, big banking, all of the stuff. I mean, when Pluto went into Capricorn the very first time in 2008, that was right at the start of the real estate crash, the financial, all the problems that we've had. So we're revisiting that one more time, and we're revisiting it while we're preparing, you know, for this election. So this is going to be crunchy, and it's going to highlight for the last time in Capricorn the United States Pluto return, which I've done videos about many times. Yes, it's election it's election time. It's election time. So this is the old established way. This is all the kind of stuff that we've been talking about, like more old fashioned and retro and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be highlighting that. Whether, I'm not getting political here, I'm just saying that's going to be highlighted. That is what that is, because if you think of Capricorn is like ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the tried and true. But Aquarius, which is where Pluto is now, is all about innovation, change, wanting to, you know, make a difference and all that kind of stuff. So we have these two energies, and they're very different, even though they're neighbors. Capricorn and Aquarius are neighbors. They're very different. It's almost like Capricorn would live in the center hall design colonial, okay, with 2.5 kids and a white picket fence and blah, blah, blah. And then Aquarius would be next door in the, like, you know, sustainably built, ultra modern, you know, kind of house that you see, these two are very different. Okay, and so this is how we're going to get that one. I call that the final pop quiz, when a planet returns for the very last time when it goes retrograde. That's my nickname for that time. And that's where we really see a full kind of result from the last, you know, over a decade that Pluto has been in that sign. We're seeing the result. That's going to be the final pop quiz that we get in that sign. Did we learn the life lessons that we were supposed to learn with Pluto and Capricorn? And if we didn't, we'll have another something during that time come up that we have to review things, okay? So It's going to be crunchy, and I'm giving you the heads up now so that you guys can know and prepare. And again, where's Pluto and Capricorn in your chart? Because that's what Pluto is doing. It takes 2 to 3 years for Pluto to just go into a sign. You know, like I said, this is going to be the very last time in our lifetime, because it takes 248 years for Pluto to go all the way around us one time in a chart around the sun, you know? And so we won't live long enough. Science hasn't yet developed that. Hopefully it will soon someday. But so we have to revisit this one more time. So this is like I said, 2 to 3 years it takes Pluto, and we're finally getting out of this time. But the United States Pluto return, I mean, think about the United States Pluto return. I mean, this is the first time in 250 years since 1776 that Pluto has returned to that last, it was like, I believe it was 27 or 28 degrees of Capricorn was the Pluto return. So we're returning to that time of 1776 where they were working something out then, you know, and we're working it out now. I mean, this is a time where nations can rise and nations can fall. It is, because it's a deal breaker. I always say with Pluto, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, it's not a light and fluffy planet. Pluto is the harshest planet in anybody's chart. So that is happening. And so what is the mythology? I like talking about the mythology of Pluto. This happens every spring because remember, in mythology, Pluto is Hades. And if you remember the myth behind Pluto and Persephone, okay, it's something that, or Persephone, I'm not sure how you say her name, but okay, these two were punished. They were not allowed to inhabit the same place at the same time. So Pluto, this is the time of year when Pluto goes retrograde, he goes back under to the underworld, and Persephone comes up, and that's when all the flowers bloom and everything. And then when Pluto goes direct again in the fall, he goes above the earth, and then everything dies. The leaves fall off. That's when we have winter in the northern hemisphere of the world. I'm conscious that we have viewers from Australia and different other parts of the world, but that was the sort of mythology. Okay, so it does have a tie into our cycles, our spring and our summer cycles, and fall cycles, I should say, spring and fall. And so that is the mythology behind it. So he's going down under the underworld again. He's returning to his place. Now, where is Aquarius in your chart? In the very beginning or the very, very super end of Capricorn? That's where Pluto's going to be going back to. And that is the thing. Okay. I didn't know that, Charlie. You said Australia started in 1776 too. That's really interesting. I'll have to look into that. Wendy said a white buffalo. Oh, beautiful. That's a beautiful prophecy. Yes. Yes. Some good news. A white buffalo was born on 4/25/24. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. So we have a lot of Pluto stuff this week. So like I said, Pluto is squaring Venus, the day before on Wednesday. Then Pluto goes retrograde on Thursday. And then Mars forms a trine with Pluto, and that's coming on Friday, which is Orthodox Good Friday, if you celebrate that. Mars in Aries, like I said, because on Tuesday, Mars went into Aries, forming a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. That's at 5:06 a.m. Eastern time is the peak. It's the maximum it's going to be. But remember, these are going to actually stretch out maybe for a week or two because of the fact that Pluto is stationary. So we're going to be feeling these a little longer than normally. Normally these would be gone within 2-3 days. But this is a little longer. It's going to be a week or two. We're going to be having that lingering around because, you know, Pluto's kind of doing its thing. Now, Mars forming a sextile with Pluto, is that positive? Good news is Aries and Aquarius are usually besties. Okay, they're very compatible because Aquarius is an air sign and Aries is a fire sign, and those fire likes air. Okay, air likes fire, fire likes air. So they're compatible. But look at the players. It's Mars and Pluto. So you always have to just be watchful when Mars, the god of war, and Pluto, the lord of the underworld, come together, even if they're coming together in cahoots and they're positively working together, good news is we could be a little bit more shrewd. We could be a little bit more dynamic and decisive and planning and calculating. And remember, if they're in cahoots together, they might really do well together, okay? Because they're kind of like partners in crime. But they could also really be incendiary when they come in together like that, and when they form a team. That could be spicy. It will be spicy. I mean, that can be very passionate. This is like definitely about, having a sexual kind of tryst or hookup or some kind of thing. But boy, it is definitely going to be, could be spicy. It could be real super spicy. So we gotta watch that. And again, it's not just Friday, it's Thursday, Wednesday. So this is not the time to get into like the big argument, the big political discussion, the big whatever thing. But again, I can't say that for everybody, because let's say you're really shy and meek and a little bit, you don't have trouble self-advocating on that. Oh, not during this time. You might just blurt it right out. Like you might just blurt that right out and then come out with something. Okay. And that can happen too during this. So we have to watch that for sure. And as we get into the weekend, the moon shifts into Pisces. This is a little bit more of a chill weekend, on the 4th and the 5th, which is good. The 5th is Cinco de Mayo. Happy, if you celebrate that, and Orthodox Easter as well. It's interesting, out of the whole month, I would say actually the 5th is the calmest day out of the month. The next day, on the 6th, there's a ton of astrological energy on Monday the 6th. It's a lot of, I guess, more minor energy, but there's just a lot of it. So whenever there's like a lot of little things, it still feels like a lot or overwhelming here on this earthly plane, But Sunday the 5th has no energy really. It's the moon at that point is in Aries, so that's okay. But other than that, there's no big planetary things going on Sunday. Out of the whole month, when I look at a bird's eye view of May, that's the calmest day, pretty much during the month. But we got another retrograde planet. This is going to be happening, just so you guys know. All of these retrograde planets will be starting because we're getting into that time of year, and they usually do start during this time. I will say one big honorable mention, and then I will be doing questions and also pulling a card for the week of what we need to know. So if anybody wants to know, oh boy. Let's see. Wendy said the nations are climaxing very soon. May we all be satisfied in the end. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a little crazy, we'll just say. The big news when I take a bird's eye view and I look at the month, the big news this month by far, I would say, is Jupiter is on the move. Okay. And that only happens roughly once a year, unless if it's like during a retrograde time or something, but Jupiter is moving into a new sign. I'm going to do a more thorough broadcast about that, but I like to let you guys know these things a little ahead of time, because sometimes, it affects us. Jupiter is our good luck, good fortune, optimism, expansion, okay? And it's going into Gemini on May 25th, 2024. So I'm sorry, Taurus is out there. I say sorry because it's optimism and expansion and good luck and good fortune. So you kind of want Jupiter is one of those planets that you want to have as long as possible in your sign. It's like, please, like you just hold on to Jupiter, So I'm sorry to Tauruses, because your time with Jupiter is kind of wrapping up. So if you're a Taurus on this program, or an earth sign, Virgo or Capricorn, you're getting the benefit, okay, of that in earth signs. Do stuff like between now and the May 25th, really start something. If you had something on the burner and you really wanted to do something good in your life, and I had this idea, blah, blah, do it before Jupiter moves on, because Jupiter will then highlight all the air signs. Okay. So if you have any Gemini in your chart, or Aquarius, or even Libra, you guys will get the benefit of that Jupiter time. So that's going to start. That's a new cycle. That's going to be on May 25th, 2024. And that's the big news for this month, just so that you guys know. Because I'm doing, it just so happens I'm doing this broadcast right at the very end of the month, almost starting the new month. So in May, that's the big news that we have. So do it up. If you have Gemini, that's going to be something good for your life. And yeah, it's a good thing. But don't sleep on it. Earth signs, you still have time. You have 5 days, 26 days to really do something here. If you have something you want to fire up, do it. Because especially also, this kind of stands for everybody. Especially since we don't have, other than Pluto, we still don't have the pack of starting their retrogrades, because pretty soon then it'll be Saturn, it'll be Jupiter, it'll be all the bigger outer planets will start going retrograde in the summer, and then we'll be in review mode, So we still have a little time, even though Pluto's retrograde, we still have time for, to have a little bit, of starting energy, especially during that new moon. Ooh, that new moon's going to be nice, powerful. Like I said, May 7th in Taurus, that new moon is also an excellent time to start new things. So yeah. So Cheryl, you got a job interview Friday afternoon. I don't think you should reschedule. Cheryl asked if she should reschedule. I don't think you should reschedule. Just stay away from the hot topics. Okay. And this could help you. I mean, it's not that it doesn't have to be, Mars sextile Pluto doesn't have to be terrible. Okay. It's just that it's a little feisty. So we want to watch our tongue might be a little pointed and jabby. So, you just want to watch in your job interview. But yeah, I mean, it could be dynamic energy. I mean, it could give us a little chutzpah, and if that's something you need, that could help us. I'm going to pull a card for you, Cheryl. I don't know if you're still in the program, watching Cheryl T. What does Cheryl need to know about that job interview? Ooh, Cheryl, you got father healing. I don't know if the job interview is with a man or not, but this is saying your personal power increases as you give any father-related issues to heaven. So you might have a little father or authority figures, some kind of thing there. There might be a little thing. So we want to watch that. I'm going to pull another card for you just very quickly. Oh, you're an RN. Nice. Make a decision. This is interesting. Father healing, make a decision. You know what? Us ladies, and I'm talking archetypally here, I don't want to offend anybody, but us ladies sometimes get really masculine when we have to do things. We get real pushy, aggressive, and so you want to watch that. You want to watch that. And it's saying also to make a decision, if you've been feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and then just act on it. And so it's saying that you might have to, make some you might have been on the fence, about something. So this is time to really think about what you want. And I tell people, our intuition is our body, I mean, if you go in and you feel like, yay, this feels amazing, or clunk. Oh, this place, it didn't feel good. But I could probably do it. Maybe the hours. No, your body already told you that it won't be a good match. So you have to just watch that energy. And that will help you to make the decision. If you feel, I call it a ping, like your intuition, and you just feel good and happy there. Or if you feel clunk, and then that's like a yucky energy. And then that's your intuition. That is your intuition. So follow that and listen to that, for sure. Oh, Kelly, yay. You said, woohoo. Hopefully Jupiter will be kind or good for you. You would like to have a card pulled for your daughter who is applying for internships. Okay, Kelly's daughter. What does she need to know? Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. This is interesting. This jumped into my hand. So we got mother healing. Funny, Kelly, because I pulled this for your daughter. As your feelings towards your mother heal, your desires manifest rapidly and accurately, and tranquility. Time to relax, be still, enjoy solitude, indulging in much needed self-care. I don't know if she's been very busy on the go lately, but it does seem like she needs to have some nurturing or some love or some kind of thing. She might be like a little stressed out. Let me look and see. I'm going to ask about your daughter. Yeah, because she has to do a lot. She has to do a lot, Kelly. This is Mars. This is a lot of pushing, action, you know, all that kind of stuff. I feel like she's going to have potentially multiple opportunities. Just to let you know, I feel like she might get picked for 2 or 3 even. So that's good. I hope that helps, Kelly. You're welcome, Cheryl. Okay. Oh, hey, Ashley Ann. Welcome to the broadcast. Oh, no, Kathy. Everybody, Kathy's brother-in-law is in the ICU with a brain bleed. We were just talking in the early part of the broadcast about the brain and the head. That's Aries. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So if everybody can send Reiki or positive vibes to Kathy's brother-in-law, that is in the ICU, we will definitely give him lots of love and send lots of good positive vibes. Say prayers, Reiki, anything that you got that you can lend to that situation, that would be wonderful. Let's see. I can't give you a prediction here on a live broadcast. Woo, woo. You got a lot of energy around this question, but I'm just going to ask what we need to know about that. He's alert and talking. That's good. There's going to be a change within this, and I am hoping, it seems like it's going to be a positive change because it came out with Mercury. Mercury is talking and thinking, and it is our brain activity. There is going to be a change. I feel like as if, you know, when you have a faucet on and it's like gushing, and then you turn it off slowly, and then it goes down to like a trickle, and then it's barely nothing. That's what I feel like is happening with his brain bleed. I do feel that he is going to have a recovery. God, my head's hurting when I'm talking about this with him. I do feel like that, but I just feel like it's like we're turning down the faucet. It's what it feels like. It's like just slowly, and then eventually they shut it down. I don't know how they're doing that, but that's what I'm getting intuitively. I hope that helps. We're going to send him lots of love, lots of Reiki vibes, lots of good, okay, good mojo there. Jean, your question, oh my gosh, I can't do that on a live broadcast. He wants to know about her whole life. I can't do that, I'm sorry. But if you have a more specific one, yeah, he had lots of headaches. Yeah. See, sometimes a headache isn't just a headache. There's a good reminder for all of us. If you have something that's that really is lingering, that's something that you need to look at. Okay. Jean, I'm gonna just pull a card for you, just a general card. I can't pull a card for every area of your life, like your question said. But I can pull just a general card for you. Jean, what do we need to know here? You got some money stuff here. Hopefully it's positive money stuff. Prosperity card, Jean. Your actions have resulted in incoming abundance. That's good. I mean, so hopefully that helps, that you have some good positive vibes there with some money. I do feel like you've been making some like big decisions. It's funny. You got express your inner truth. Okay, Jean. Express your inner truth. And it says your creative work shines brightest when you reflects your genuine feelings and thoughts. I would say a similar thing to you that I said earlier to person about trusting your gut and, the ping or the clunk. I feel like as if you got to let that guide you. I think sometimes we get too caught up with minutia and this would be the right thing to do, or maybe this person wants us to do this thing or whatever. And we stop listening to ourselves. We stop listening to our intuition. I'm sensing a theme here that we need to listen more to our intuition. And so that's something that's very important. Because how many times do you go back in life and go, if I had just listened to what I had a feeling about that thing and blah, 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 right? And what we do, and it's not anybody's fault. It's society says, well, first of all, society mostly is invalidating to intuition. Or, it's like, oh, that's silly type of stuff. I mean, sometimes society says things like that. And sometimes our loved ones say things like that. And they don't mean to. It's like, well, you can't just do that, like thing. And they'll say little like sort of disempowering statements like that. So it makes us feel like we can't trust ourselves, and so that's what I'm getting with a lot of the questions tonight is about trusting yourself. Yeah. I hope that helps. All right, so now I'm going to pull a card for the week. What do we all need to know about this week? There's a lot of energy. Venus moved into Taurus. Mars moved into Aries. Then we have Pluto highlighting Venus and Mars, and Pluto going retrograde in the middle of all of it. So that's a lot of energy happening. Oh, and then we have the fourth quarter, or what's called the last quarter lunar cycle, and I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Oh, gee. You know what? I want to say this too. I know I have not a lot, but I have a healthy amount of clients that are either autistic themselves or they have children that are autistic. And I'm telling you, they are some of the most intuitive clients I have. So I don't care, label whatever label. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully the having the diagnosis helps you. And then also I want you to listen to it, but also not listen to it. Let yourself know that you have gifts and blessings and your brain just works a little differently. That's all. Hope that helps. Okay, now I'm going to pull a card for the week. What do we all need to know about Pluto, about all these things, retrograde, everything else? What do we need to know? Ooh, we got this card came out. This is the card of communication. Communicating, and like I said, this week we have to really be careful with our communication. We have to communicate with a feather, okay? Because we have some really feisty energy in the background, and we have to do it more diplomatically, a little bit more peacefully, a little bit more not quite as pointedly. Like, why did you do that thing? Anytime you use the word why to somebody, you're automatically putting them on a defensive that they now have to explain to you or justify or something. So whenever you say to someone, asking them a question, why, that automatically is pointed. So remember, with our communication, I'm going to also pull another card from my Dream Virtue Mermaid deck, which a beautiful client of mine bought me for my birthday, and I love it so much. I've been playing with it ever since then. So these are mermaids. We got this one. Ooh, we got Divine Magic card. I'm probably gonna one day own all of Dream Virtue's cards. I'm just saying, because I love all of them. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. So don't think about cup is half empty. Think about the cup is half full. And then I'm being guided to use my Archangel Gabriel deck. Archangel Gabriel is in charge of messages to us. So that's something that that we want to pay attention to. So I'm going to ask one more time, what do we need to know about this week? What's important from Archangel Gabriel? Okay, and pay attention to our dreams. We're getting a lot of messages here. Pay attention to our intuition. Pay attention to our dreams, okay? You are receiving divine guidance while you sleep. So a lot of us are going to get downloads this week, okay? This is what this is saying. Even if you don't remember your dreams, the answers are in your unconscious mind where they appear in order to help you. So we may have little epiphanies. If you don't remember your dreams, you might have like a little epiphany, like, I don't know why, but I should do this thing. Okay, that could be coming as a download through your dream. And also think about, again, following our intuition and following our gut feeling and following, what's our heart's desire. That will tell you. Okay, so we have a lot of good cards actually that came out tonight, positive cards about this week. It's just I always say it's like you want to just be mindful, give reverence to and respect to Pluto, because Pluto has that capacity. It's kind of like if you're tiptoeing around a hornet's nest. You just want to do it peacefully and calmly. But there could be very transformative energies here because Pluto is the planet of transformation. So that is that. So I hope you guys had a really great Monday night with me. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you want to have a personalized astrological session, feel free to reach out through either text message or through a DM, through social media or email. And I will try to get back to you guys as soon as possible to schedule. I do sessions Tuesday through Friday. And so, yeah, so I hope that helps everybody. Lots of love. Namaste. Take care. And blessings to you all. Bye.